The Democrats are really the radical ones on this because they're allowed to do abortion on the 8th and 9th month and even after birth.
All right, so you've probably heard Trump make this insane claim and wondered to yourself, where does that come from?
Governor previous, the former governor, I don't want to get him mixed up because Glenn is doing a good job and he's leading our whole campaign in Virginia, Glenn Youngkin. But previous to Glenn, the governor, he said the baby will be born, we will put the baby aside, and we will decide with the mother what we're going to do. In other words, whether or not we're going to kill the baby.
All right, so there was a former governor of Virginia. His name is Ralph Northam. He appeared on a radio show in January of 2019. On this radio show, he was asked a question about abortion in the third trimester because there was a proposed lift of restrictions from the state legislature. He's asked about a hypothetical question involving abortion when the woman was straight up dilating and ready to give birth.
There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on third trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth. And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage of labor. Do you support her measure and explain her answer?
In the answer that he gives, he makes it very clear, very obvious that he's talking about non-viable fetuses. We're talking about babies that could not survive on their own outside of the womb.
There are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable.
Conservatives leapt on this clip right away. They deceptively edited the clip to make it seem as though he was speaking about fully healthy, viable babies. When you watch the full clip, it is very obvious that he is not talking about that.
So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion. But again, we want the government not to be involved in these types of decisions. We want the decision to be made by the mothers and their providers. And this is why, Julie, that legislators, most of whom are men, by the way, shouldn't be telling a woman what she should and shouldn't be doing with her body.
There is no such thing as post-birth abortion. Nobody in the country is advocating for an abortion policy that would allow for doctors to just straight up murder healthy babies. It is a pernicious, deliberate lie. It's bullshit.